feel like I might get cancelled for saying this, but I love being busy. I love being busy, and I feel like so many people don't understand the difference between being busy and being stressed. And my DMs are always full of questions. I obviously share my daily schedules online, and my DMs are always full of people asking how I stay productive, how I feel like I'm in control, as well as running a profitable business without burning out, getting ill, or dropping balls within the business. And I wanted to dedicate an entire week-long vlog to bringing you behind the scenes to a lot of the digital tools and a lot of the digital hacks that I use every single week to manage a 7-figure business, a multi-6-figure personal brand, as well as doing the weird, the wacky, the wonderful, the meetings, the managing a team, and whilst staying sane. So this week I'm really talking about like founder systems, digital tools, and really the support system that I have built around my business. And this week it is early on a Monday. I am about to go into my Monday morning social deep dive, and this week I've got back-to-back meetings, multiple brand collaborations, I've got loads of content to prep, and I still don't feel overwhelmed. I think a lot of founders wait until they are drowning to ask for help or invest in systems, and so I wanted to show you all of the digital tools that I proactively use to protect my energy and my profitability, because my sanity is also my profitability, because that's why she became self-employed. And so I'm going to be covering the tools, the digital tools, the processes, the workflows, everything that I've built into my habit system to protect my energy, protect my sanity, so that even on really chaotic weeks like this one, I can still take a full breath, because I know what's coming, I know what's covered, and I know where every single pound of money is going. So when we're talking about digital tools, I feel like I can't talk about digital tools without talking about playbooks. I talk a lot online, generally. That was a full sentence. I talk a lot. I talk a lot online about playbooks and processes, but I am also hypersensitive to the fact that lots of people might not know what they are. And so process notes, in my mind, are a set of processes like a recipe that if you follow, you will get the desired outcome. Whereas a playbook is much more of a working document where it is outcome driven, but like impact driven, in that the goal isn't one specific goal, it's more of a big goal to achieve. So for example, we use process notes very heavily within the accounting firm, where we need a specific outcome every time. It can't be nuanced, it can't be changing. For example, incorporating a limited company, that needs to be done correctly. It has to be done following a certain process. But within accountancy and my personal brand, actually it's a lot more purpose driven and impact driven, and so we use a hybrid between process notes and playbooks. And I am about to go into my weekly call with my content lead Tamsin, and recently we've implemented a new playbook. Now I'm going to put a snippet of this on screen because I think it will blow your mind. A very quick interruption for the video to tell you that actually one of the digital tools that I absolutely swear by is Xero. We have used it within the firm for years, and it's what helps me to keep my finances simple, accurate, and automated. If you don't know, Xero is a cloud-based accounting software platform specifically designed for small businesses to easily manage their finances. So whether I am traveling on back-to-back calls like we're about to do, or planning a launch, Xero keeps everything from invoices to bank feeds to cash flow all in one place. I know what's going on financially without spreadsheets or guesswork. So if you've been thinking about using a tool to streamline your business finances, now is a great time to try Xero. There is an exclusive offer in the description to this video. Just click the link to check it out. And a very big thank you to Xero for sponsoring this part of today's video. I am a very energy driven person, and I feel like my role as a founder is very dependent on how I feel. Like my role is very strategy heavy. It involves me being able to carry a lot within the business, and I am able to do that if work feels good, and I have to protect my energy at all costs. And I realized recently that LinkedIn has lost the plot. I don't know what's happening with LinkedIn. Let me know in the comments if you feel the same. But I'm going on my LinkedIn feed and I'm seeing posts from people from 3 weeks ago. Engagement is dead. Even when I'm posting, in my personal opinion, brilliant content, it's just, I don't know. it's lost the plot. And I found myself spending loads of energy, like really trying and just not getting any results. And I was like, there must be a better way. And so I was thinking, posting on my Instagram stories, I can't stop. I won't stop. You cannot shut me up. I'll yap and yap and yap. I love it, which is so strange because it's my biggest platform. It's where I have the biggest audience. But I think because of DMs and comments, like I feel so close to who I'm talking to. I just love it. And so that doesn't drain my energy, but posting on LinkedIn was draining my energy. And I was like, there must be another way. Name that film, Harry Potter, Hermione, when they're playing chess and Ron's about to sacrifice himself. So we created a playbook, which is called Repurposing Instagram Stories into LinkedIn Posts, which is a digital process that we have designed internally to streamline the process of repurposing my Instagram stories, which are my tone of voice, my real life, it's in real time, it's me just yapping away on my Instagram stories, into high-performing LinkedIn posts by repackaging content that I've already created. So we maximize reach, we maximize engagement, we are maximizing the impact from my energy across multiple platforms whilst maintaining lots of consistency within my personal brand tone of voice. So you can see here that this is a playbook. It maps out like what we do, why we do it, how we measure the success of this, the AI prompts that we're using, how we do it, how we edit it, how we upload it, how we're optimizing for future content, and exactly how we are executing this with a full example. It's wild, but value in the first 3 minutes of this video. You are so welcome. I thought you would love to see that. So let's go into my Monday morning meeting as we test how this has been working over the last few weeks. Good morning, how are you? Yeah, so we've done our M&S sandwich debrief, and I guess a point for our action is to just reflect on all of the key elements that made that hit and make sure the next time we have a trending moment, we go through that list and tick off, is it a trend moment? Is it impacting all of the segments of our audience? Is it shareable? Is it sparking a reaction or a comment or an opinion or a feeling? Does it have that in the hook? And then is there a checklist of things that we need on screen as well? I feel like that would be brilliant. The digital marketing meeting is done. I mentioned it briefly earlier, but we use Microsoft Loop, which is kind of the Microsoft version of Notion within Accountant She, which is my personal brand. So I use that with my PA, I use that with Tamsin in marketing, she's the content lead. That's exactly how we keep all of our playbooks, that's how we plan our week, that's how we document everything. That's the inside of my brain. And so the process that you just saw us do there, that's a process that we do every single week where we are doing deep dive analytics of the last week. We're working out what went well, what went wrong, how we can replicate it, what we can test, how close we're getting to our ideal week of content, which is something that changes with every iteration over time. And so I'm now going to go into a meeting with my PA, which is daily approvals. So we are also using Loop. So just before I go into my meeting, at any given time, me and my PA use Loop to keep a list of quick tick approvals. And so she has got lots of things for me. We have like a process to check in with each other every week. And she really is like the performance of her job as my PA. She is measured on my well-being, like how work feels to me, if it feels good, if it feels like I've got energy, like I'm not getting burnt out, like she's definitely my well-being department. And this is what I mean about the difference between being busy and being stressed. Like I am very rarely stressed. I have such an incredible team who are just dedicated to like making sure that I'm able to perform at the highest possible standard. And so she is KPI'd on how close to my ideal week I get. And then we also have a lot of conversations about well-being. And in last week's weekly overview, she asked me how my well-being was and if I was feeling overwhelmed with life admin. And I actually wrote a note to her which said, if you ever fancy a little getaway at our house to help me sort out some of my home life, please let me know. Again, and I won't be offended if you say no. I know being away from the kids might be a deal breaker for you, but it's just lots of like organisation, wardrobe detox, sorting my clothes out. Like, to be honest, just stuff that is always really important to me and I really want to do, but by the time I finish work, it's just not a priority. And she's left a note saying, I know this is for our next meeting, but just a heads up, this is a big yes. And is the ultimate dopamine for me and my brain. And then she has got some questions for me. One is just asking, I'd asked her to pick something up for me and she's asking, is this paid or free? Pretty sure the speaking gig I've just been booked for is actually a client. So I'm just going to check that they are a client. Side quest, but random fact for you. I have an irrational fear of meeting someone in person, face to face, and not knowing that they're a client, and then being really rude to me, being like, I can't believe you don't know I'm not a client. And it is quite irrational because we have nearly 800 clients, and obviously I would never be able to know all of them by name or by face, and I don't do the prospect calls, I'm not the accountant, there are many clients that I wouldn't know who they are, so it is quite a irrational fear. And again, like I buy a lot of Tala, and if I met Grace Beverley I wouldn't be like, I'm a customer of yours, don't you know? So that's my irrational fear. So I've just left her a note that says that it'll be free because they're a client of ours, so I don't charge for speaking events for clients. And then have an in-person meeting. I know, shock horror, have to leave the house. I'm definitely gonna get ill now. Got an in-person meeting tomorrow, which is a vision board meeting, which is why I leave the house. I only leave the house for vision board things. I'm meeting a lady whose pronunciation of her name is quite confusing, and so she's literally made notes saying, just as a reminder, this is what the meeting's for, go to reception, ask for this person, I've just double checked, this is how to pronounce her name, and she's done it phonetically, especially because I feel like mispronouncing someone's name is just a really easy way to piss them off from the very beginning, and like it's a very important meeting. So even she has literally researched how to pronounce this person's name and spelt it for me so that I can just be like, hey, so-and-so, and just 12 out of 10 first impression. Again, I've got some meetings coming up where she's just done some initial research for me to just check in and say like, this is what this meeting's for, is it okay for this, is it okay for this, blah, blah, blah. So it's just me being like, this is so helpful, thank you. So I'm gonna get my head down before I go into a meeting with my PA. So let's go. Promise I'm not gonna film the entire vlog sat in the seat, but this is giving you an accurate reflection of my day. It's now like an hour later, and digital tools that I use to save my mind. We can't not talk about voice notes. We have just pitched for one of the biggest proposals I think I've ever pitched, and I have been communicating with someone via WhatsApp voice note. I voice note everybody, and I think voice notes are such a great time-saving hack, as well as like really getting across the vibe. I do not make a habit of voice noting clients. This is actually somebody that I know personally who has referred the client to us, and we're just voice noting backwards and forwards. But I find voice noting such a good way to like save time, get your personality across. You can habit stack, like I normally walk at the same time as doing it. So we can now reply to this voice note together. Oh my gosh, no, you don't need to thank me. I need to thank you because yeah, she absolutely is a 12 out of 10 ideal client, and I very much came on the call to just help her. I feel like my mantra in life is you don't become poor by giving, and I feel like it's situations like that where it's just such a better way to have those conversations than it being like a prospect call or a sales pitch. So thank you for introducing me to someone who is very, very lovely. I completely agree. I think going gold until things are stable, because there is so much I feel like we could do to help her, like with the KPI reporting, with the board reporting, with the management accounts, with the cash flow forecasting. I feel like to start with, she'll really see a lot of benefit. And even in us training the in-house bookkeeper, I think that will go really, really well. So if we maybe just do it maybe temporarily and then just see how much we can pass over to the in-house bookkeeper would be brilliant. But let me know if you want me on a call with you guys later. I'm very happy to jump on, or tomorrow at some point, just shout. Good morning. One of the most useful tools or processes I have built into my business over the last 5 years actually has been something that I implemented. I think I started to try to do it about 2 years ago, but failed miserably until this year I got a PA and things got a lot better very, very quickly, which is an ideal week. Let me know if you guys fancy a video on this, because I think you would really enjoy it, because if I had this video a while ago, it would have gone very, very well. So I have a process of mapping out my ideal week, which literally gets put into like almost a picture of a schedule, which is my ideal week. And my PA is basically KPI'd on how close she can get every single week to my ideal week, which is a lovely segue into this morning, because it's a Friday and my diary looks very nice. I have got 2 meetings, so it's not, you know, the ideal Friday, but both of the meetings are like vision board meetings that I said to my PA, just move everything to get them in. So I've got the entire morning blocked out for admin, deep focus work, clear my inbox ahead of next week, which is actually amazing because my Mondays are very much like head down, deep focus, like task work, and I feel like doing task work when you've got a clear inbox is chef's kiss. And then this afternoon is a task block before the meetings start. I was just about to say I think I'm going to have an early finish, but my last meeting finishes at 5, so that's not going to happen. But yeah, I'm going to do admin this morning and then a task block this afternoon. That's where I kind of focus on growing the business and strategy. I've got some fun things to do, which I'll bring you behind the scenes on task-wise. So let's spend a Cosy Friday together, which has been planned by past me for future me via my PA. So let's go. Okay guys, we are back with Cooking with Rachel for a second week in a row. I am on my sourdough game. It is a Cosy Friday. I've had my leaven, is what it's called. Had my leaven bubbling away overnight. I've now mixed the dough and I just need to put some salt in. So I'm very aware that lots of you will not care about this, but some of you might. So gotta take the rings off. I've been having a really good Friday. We had our Strivex monthly board meeting yesterday, which I will give you an overview of shortly. But one of my favourite things to do after a board meeting is our incredible management team all report into the board. And with every board meeting, they give us a summary of their team, everybody that reports to them, and they tell us what their wins of the month have been. And so one of my favourite things to do after a board meeting is to just send a really personalised message to every single member of the team. So I've just done 21 messages. Personalised message to every member of the team to let them know that, you know, we spoke about them in the board meeting and that their manager's been singing their praises, and just lovely. So I've actually just spent some time doing that, which is lovely. Okay, that is the salt mixed into my sourdough. I am going to see my brother and my sister-in-law and my nephew tomorrow morning for breakfast, so I said I would take some sourdough so we can have a lovely brekkie. So I'm just gonna wash our hands and then get back to my desk. So one of the really cool digital tools that we use within the accounting firm is called OfficeVibe, and I'll pop a link to it in the description of this, just because loads and loads of people ask for this all of the time. So as we were scaling, as you'll have heard me talk about on repeat, we use systems and processes to make sure that from a compliance perspective and an output perspective, everything is just on form. And we wanted to find a way to capture and track and manage employee engagement at the same time, because we do so much, you know, deep dive research into like how clients are feeling, client happiness, all of those things. Whereas we really wanted to find a way to do the same with employees. And so OfficeVibes is a employee engagement tool, which is really built to maximize recognition, maximize feedback, and continuously track employee net promoter scoring, which tells us how happy and engaged everybody is at work. And so we can do custom surveys, we get anonymous feedback, we can get peer-to-peer recognition through those good vibes that I mentioned I just sent. It's just incredible. And so we can get reports like pulse overviews. I can literally see the net promoter score broken down by team, broken down by location, as we're across the 2 offices as well. That was really important for us to track, but I thought you guys would really like to see that. And then every 7 days within the practice, we report to our managers what their scores are specifically, and we'll pay specific attention to if we see drops in specific areas or if specific questions have been asked. We will work with the managers to help them understand what they could be doing to improve those scores. It's something that I'm incredibly proud of. Like an ENPS score ranges from -100 to 100, and we're currently at 75, which falls into the amazing category. And so yeah, it's incredible. And I think that 75 is actually quite low at the moment because it's summer holidays, and so I don't think everybody has actually completed their surveys because they've been on holiday. And so they get asked questions like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a sense of belonging do you feel at your organisation? What is working with your direct manager like? How do you receive feedback? And then yeah, we have good vibes, which is where everybody can send them to each other. And if I just show you, these are the public ones. So you can do private ones. I normally just do mine one-to-one, but you can do public ones too. So it's almost like a public board with just all of these beautiful public good vibes, and everyone can see everyone else's. It's so cute. I actually did a bit of a deep dive in a recent vlog about how we use Xero within the practice, and because we've just had a board meeting, I thought it would be another amazing opportunity to really show you guys exactly how we do this. So our managers, the managers of our teams, all report into us, into the board. And so I am currently just looking at the board report for the year-end team. And so Fiona, who's the manager in that team, is reporting to us, and we have a specific scores on the doors tab. This is her reporting all of the specific numbers. So I've got a breakdown of team member by team member, exactly who is delivering what. It's all color-coded in line with their KPIs and their measurements back into the board. And I've got a big note on scores on the doors that says July 2025 finished on X. This is another best month ever in the history of the accounts team. And so I really feel like accounting and finance and using financial tools like Xero, they work in a few different stages, and I feel like a lot of business owners would use a financial tool like Xero to do their bookkeeping and keep on top of their day-to-day numbers. And I feel like the way that we run and use Xero really takes it to the next level. So we're doing KPI reporting, we are reviewing portfolio allocations, we're doing analysis into service lines. And so we actually break down, we've like really customized our nominal codes within Xero into engaged fees versus non-engaged fees, what's been upsold, what's got commission paid on it. And so we are really diving into like portfolio allocations in order to be able to do that as well. And then further along in the board pack, we get analysis and commentary on how many records we've got in the team at the moment, how much work in progress we've got, how much work we have prepared that is awaiting approval to go out and be billed. We get an analysis on deadlines, because we are very not deadline driven, we're very proactive, and so any deadlines that are getting close, we are reviewing like, how has this happened, what's happened. And then we also get a review on OfficeVibes from the managers in the board pack as well as a list of red flags. And this is where the team can red flag clients if the clients aren't adhering to our core values, if they're really hard to get hold of, and basically just anything that makes the team's life stressful, they can red flag a client. We don't always disengage with a client if they've been red flagged, but we normally do have a conversation. And so in this board pack, we have got 0 disengagements from red flags in July. 1 client has been given a deadline to provide records and respond by before we do disengage. And then 6 clients to be contacted by managers to just discuss the issues and encourage improvements. And so we've got 8 clients in total that are being monitored for various reasons. So if you do run a service-based business and you want to make sure that your employee engagement remains very high, I would definitely recommend implementing some form of red flag system. Good morning. I am heading into our weekly social media deep dive, which is, I think it's my favourite meeting of the week. I'm sorry other meetings, but there, I said it. Favourite meeting of the week, and I'm heading in, so I thought you guys could come behind the scenes. I also feel like it would be good, because if that came up in your feed and they were on like day 5 and they liked it, they then like go onto your profile and then be like, ooh, yeah, I like these ones.
Yeah. Also on TikTok, we can make a playlist.
Yeah, of how to do it.
And they can just go through the playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be good. It would perform well on both as well. Like you say, the FaceTime stuff always does well on TikTok.
Hey everyone, I feel like I'm either always at my desk or in my car, and I feel like I don't vlog anywhere else, so please forgive me. Also, I posted a picture on Instagram of me wearing this jumper earlier, and my brother, who works for Aston Martin, messaged me and was like, we're gonna have to get you an Aston one, get out of that. So I am currently on a really exciting trip. Probably a bit of whiplash in this vlog, but I feel like it's very wholesome and lovely, and I'm doing something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. I am really good friends with another female who owns a large accounting firm, and I feel like it is so hard to find people who you're like, oh, same as. And Lucy owns Mazuma Accounting, which is a really large accounting firm. Our accounting firms are actually really different in like how they work, how they operate. Like in business, I always imagine like price and value on 2 axis, and our firms actually sit at like opposite ends of that spectrum. And so I love the relationship that me and Lucy have. And so we normally drive, she lives in Wales and I live in Oxfordshire, and we normally drive to Bristol once a month to see each other, but it's never long enough. Like regardless of how much time we have together, it's never long enough. And so our PAs have done some things, and we 3 months ago booked a trip. So we're both gonna go and stay overnight at a spa hotel and just relax and have a girly night and just do face masks and have a bit of pamper sesh. And we're either gonna order room service or we're gonna go and have dinner in our comfy clothes, and we're just gonna put the world to rights in just the most lovely way. And I feel like when you own a business, it really often feels like you don't have like colleagues, you don't have peers, you don't have like that sense of community that you have when you're in employment. And so yeah, I'm just so excited to spend time with Luce. Yeah, she's one of my closest friends, but like we'd both just get so busy with work. We're finally spending some time together, and so very excited. I am in a different car. I'm in a different car to normal. I'm not going to mention that. Our car has broken, and so this is a hire car just for the week because I can't have the stress and the anxiety of that. Like, this is quite a long journey, so I'm just gonna, I've got my lovely like mindfulness classical music on. I've got an hour and a half drive. I might listen to a podcast. Let's go and have a what feels very indulgent mid-week catch up with one of my best friends. Let's go. I have just checked in to the hotel. I'm about to go down and it is 4 p.m. I'm gonna sit and yap with my friend for, what is it, 4 p.m? 6 hours. We've got dinner booked at 7, but we're just gonna sit and have a drink in the hotel lobby. This is what friendship looks like. Don't believe the things you see on Instagram with the wines and the coffees and the brunches. No, it's activewear and no bra and sitting with your friend and talking for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and that's what I'm gonna go do. Love you. Bye. What is this behind me? Ignore the very cute little cretin Eskimo behind me. We miss each other because we had a night away from each other, and so we've come to tippy tap together. But I'm about to go into a board meeting with a client, and I actually thought I would share one of the digital tools that we use to make things run way smoother. So I have quite a high price point retainer that people can book me on to become a non-exec director of their business, where I sit and do high level board strategy. And within that, we do a few things when we're first getting people set up. And one of the things that everybody does is pulls together a board pack. And so I give them a template of exactly what I need reporting to me every month, and then they build it. And as part of the work together, they have to send me a video talking me through the board pack before we meet, and then I get to watch that on a Fathom recording of them going through the board pack. So for this board meeting, we've got an agenda, matters arising from last time, the notes from last time. We do a risk register, which is one of the most valuable parts of a board meeting. We do a risk register, a complaints register, a disengagement tracker. Obviously, for context, this is actually another accounting firm, which is why there's a disengagement tracker. Financials, budget variance, budget headroom and squeeze. So like, what's the capacity within the cash within the business? Financials on the balance sheet, KPIs, an MD review, a SWOT analysis, some other reports that aren't quite finalised yet, Fathom action points, and then a couple of notes. And then we actually use Fathom, which is an AI call transcriber, to record that board pack so that we can watch it in advance. I really like that because it gives me like a summary and a transcript of exactly what's going on as well. And so I thought you guys might like to do that. And then you can come with me behind the scenes to this board meeting. So I have mentioned before, but I feel like a theme of this video is kind of all of the like digital tools that I swear by as a founder. And I feel like something that not a lot of people talk about is how you can use digital tools to manage your like energy when you're working. So I have mentioned this quite a few times on videos before, and let me know in the comments if you want like dedicated content on this. But I use a lot of digital tools to make sure that my energy is working with me, not against me, as I go throughout the week. Obviously, Whoop is a big one. I spend a lot of my life on Whoop, not necessarily like changing things based on my active data. So like if I had low recovery, I wouldn't just like write off the working day, but really using that data to understand like what's causing that. So I know that like traveling, like any travel, even if it's like travel that's nice, travel really impacts my ability to maintain energy levels for long periods of time. And so I'm just able to like learn a lot through this process. And then within that, I've also used that data and used my own like findings to create an ideal week. And so that is how me and Stacey work together. Stacey's job one of the really key measurements of her role is how close my diary looks to that ideal diary every single week. One of the things that I've built into that process is I do calls in the afternoons because my energy levels drop in the afternoon, and so deep focus work, like being creative and like really like sitting and bashing work out, I can do that in the morning, all morning, and have no issues. In the afternoon, I need to be kind of like moving around tasks quite frequently, and so calls are actually a really good way for me to just be like on the call, active, present, but it's not deep focus, and I really enjoy that as well. And so I thought it could be really interesting for you guys to like challenge yourself on like how can you use digital tools to like really make sure that you are operating in a way that feels really, really good as well. I showed you a few vlogs ago, but I'll put a snippet behind me as well that I use Xero for understanding like where the business is at, to keep my finger on the pulse of the business at all times. And we have so many systems and processes in place to make sure that James and I are getting the information at our fingertips when we need it to just make really, really, really good decisions. We do this through Xero reporting, so we measure things like the number of inquiries, where the inquiries are coming from, all of the way through to which team members are going to be hitting their KPIs, which team members aren't hitting their KPIs. We can track any variances within budget and income as well, and so we use reporting like this. And so on a Monday morning, James and I will get a report fed to us on how different team members are scoring against their KPIs and whether or not James needs to work with the managers to do any like development opportunities or training or progression and things like that. And so all of this is automated within Xero to make sure that everybody has access to the right information at the right times. I am back at my desk, and I just wanted to come on and close off this vlog and say a massive thank you to you all for spending such a wholesome but productive week with me. As always, I like to curate a couple of things on YouTube, and so down here I will pop, if you liked this video, I think you'll love this one, and then I'll also pop a playlist of videos which are all also about Xero. So I do lots of juicy Xero tutorials, which I think you will absolutely love as well. Thank you, as always, so much for spending some time with me today. The very best and biggest way to say thank you to me as a creator is to hit the thumbs up button, let me know in the comment section what you thought of this video, and to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I'll see you again very soon.